In a world where car companies are numbered in the hundreds, Chevrolet, Pontiac, Honda, Mitsubishi, Kawasaki, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Lotus, Toyota, Acura, BMW, Nissan, you need to know the facts, the latest information for everything about cars, trucks, motorcycles, and ATVs. This is Speed.
That's right. Welcome to Speed, the only show on the B3 Radio Network about cars, motorcycles, trucks, and what else?
ATVs?
Yeah, ATVs. There we go. We don't really talk about those too much. We should start getting into those. But it's not summer yet. It's not the season for them yet.
No.
Too cold.
But you can get them cheap, though, for now.
Some places.
Some places.
eBay.
Especially eBay.
You can always call us at 626-532-7154 or email us at speedradio3@yahoo.com. How you doing, man? How's your
my class?
Yeah, your car class going?
It's doing pretty good, actually.
Starting to get interesting. No more of that lollygagging lecture stuff anymore?
No, there's still lectures, like maybe the first half of the class, only like an hour of class for videos of like how to do this, what to do, and this and this and that. And then after that, it's just nothing but work.
Oh, outside in the garage and stuff? Cool.
11 freaking bays worth of 11 freaking bays to work on. That's just amazing.
That's awesome. It must be pretty awesome also for Tesla. I mean, you said you were hearing this in your class today.
Yeah, a bunch of people were telling me, like, oh, have you seen a new Tesla?
Yeah, the Tesla Model X prototype. It's a really cool SUV. It's a crossover SUV from Tesla. Check out this thing. It's got the rear doors, because it's a 4-door model. It's got gull-wing doors.
It reminds me of the freaking, what's it called?
The DeLorean?
Yes, there you go.
Also one of the old Mercedes. I think the Mercedes SL, the old Mercedes, like from the 50s or the 60s. It also had gull wings doors.
Actually, now that I notice it, these doors are actually coming back now, because I think the new supercar for the Mercedes had those kind of doors.
Yeah,
too.
they were bringing it back, but it's based off of the original one from a while ago. But anyway, yeah, Tesla is bringing this car to the market. Right now it's in concept form, but there's a lot of things that it's all electric, by the way. It's all battery powered.
The whole thing?
Yeah, everything in there. So it's really cool. It has a really big trunk in the back, and the front is actually a trunk as well underneath the hood. Huh. And they're claiming that that would be pretty good for a crumple zone during a crash. When you have a crumple zone, which means that when you crash your vehicle, the energy that's dissipated, it's better if you have an area where your body...
buffer zone.
Yeah, you have a buffer zone between the actual point of contact and you, which in most vehicles, if you're on a front-on crash, it would be the hood. It's a nice area to crumple everything up. But in most common vehicles like today, there's a gasoline engine in there. First of all, gasoline, it's a hazard. But it's not that dangerous as much as you would think. You have gasoline in there. It's not like you're hitting it from the back where the gas tank is, where you have a gigantic... talking about that, you remember one of those old stories about the old Crown Vics? It's on an unrelated matter, but I remember hearing old rumors. An old rumor about how when the Crown Vic was not when it first came out, I think it must have been like halfway through the generation when they first brought him back in the early 90s. And if you would ram a cop car in the back, the gas tank was so low and so close to the rear of the bumper that you could actually make one explode because of the friction force on one of the old gas tanks.
So if you ram a Crown Vic in the back, it's just boom.
Yeah.
I could see why they discontinued those.
Well, this was an older one from the 90s, not anymore. But I remember that there was a rumor. I'm not sure if it was actually true, but I heard that one. But anyway, back to the Tesla. It's a pretty good-looking car.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So there are some features I don't think will make it like its rear-view mirrors. I'm sorry, not rear-view. I always get that mixed up. The side view. They're actually not there because they're using cameras. And inside of the dashboard, there will actually be...
Wait, you mean the speedometer part?
Yeah,
the odometer part,
where you would have all your gauges. It's actually going to be a virtual one, a screen.
Oh, you mean like what was it talking about last time that we could actually move the stuff around?
The Dodge Dart.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to have a digital screen, and also in the center console, it looks like a giant iPad, but it's going to be a giant touch screen.
A giant touch screen?
Yeah. This is pretty cool on the steering wheel. Also, you can always see the pictures on the website at b3radionetwork.webs.com. Click the tab Speed, and right there underneath the main title show page will be the link for all the photos that we are describing on the show. On the steering wheel, these buttons, where you would usually have on the newer, like my truck has it, where
all the media controls.
Yeah, well, these are touch screens as well, and depending, it's really cool. Right here, there's the next track, forward, next, mute, unmute. Those are all touch screen. And depending on what you're doing, so you can be in media mode for music, and the music media controls will be there. But like, let's say you go into like a driving mode, like you're going to go into driving habits. Well, one button might have the turbo, one button might have like the gear paddle shift, but it might be in digital form. So it'll change the logos and stuff because it's a touch screen as well. Pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah, but I'm just thinking about the freaking hazard when you're fixing it.
Yeah, but this is this is a very, very expensive car.
Oh yeah.
So, and again, this is all concept form, and usually most people don't really think about that too much when it's a new vehicle. But
I think they should put mirrors though. I don't really like it when it's just.
Yeah, but I found out that if you have the conventional mirrors, that's actually on this vehicle. If they had the conventional mirrors, it would add 5% of energy loss. So if you just have the thin little strip of the camera end on the back of it, you cut down 5% of energy loss. So therefore, you have 5% more of range. Because this is Tesla already has, I know they have one other vehicle. I'm not sure if it's two, but they have their car version that's using the engine and the platform, or not the engine, I should say, but the battery packs and stuff. And it's already going to be weighed down because it's an SUV format. It's heavier, it's bulkier. But
wait, this is an SUV?
Yeah, this is their SUV. They've had the car out for a little while now.
I thought this was gonna be like some sort of van or something. I didn't think it was an SUV.
Well, this is the crossover SUV.
Crossover.
Yeah, the crossover SUVs.
Okay, no, that one makes more sense.
Yeah, very big cargo room in the back and in the front. And from one of the pictures, you can actually stand up in the back with this guy right here. Like I think this is the creator of the vehicle, or one of the partial owners of Tesla, and he's the one that displayed the vehicle when it first came out. Like they had all the news press. This is only for the news media, and they rolled out, and he was able to stand up like that in the back seat with the gull-wing doors open, and then pop out and then give his speech about showing off of the car and stuff. Pretty cool car. But you said you were hearing a lot about it at your class today.
Yeah, I was hearing a lot about it, but I didn't think it would be like this. So I mean, it's not bad, but. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah,
17-inch high resolution screens and stuff on the inside. It's pretty cool stuff.
Wait, that's the main one, right?
Yeah, that would be the one that's where the infotainment system would be for like navigation and media.
17-inch touch screen.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, that's huge.
And the battery will actually consist of a 20-watt rated, not lithium, but it's pretty much what the Volt has right now. And the Chevy Volt. Which that one's a range extender, but it's pretty much using the same technology batteries in there. This is a performance vehicle, so it's meant to go fast. Tesla is they compete with Ferrari and Lamborghini. So.
You know what I found out about the hybrid cars, and pretty much hybrid and electric cars, they produce 3 times more energy than the freaking house.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then when you're fixing it, you got to have all metal pieces at least 3 feet away, because. If something were to happen, it could arc and it could kill you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That doesn't sound very good. With new vehicles on the talk, also, there's a lot of news with European cars this week. Here's a good look at the Aston Martin V12 Zagato. Yeah. It's Italian, I think. So.
Well, okay, I have to admit, I like the body note, but I don't like the front grille.
Oh, I love that front grille. That is great.
I don't like it.
They're going back to their older style.
Oh, cool. If it's an older style, then yeah, because I've never seen the old style.
Yeah, actually, the Aston Martin, when James Bond first came out in the United States in 1964, when they did the third movie, Goldfinger, which was the one that made James Bond the big movie icon. They'd done 2 movies previously, but that was the first movie where they used an Aston Martin. That was the first one where they had the car chase, where Sean Connery opens up the center console and the passenger seat ejects.
Oh, okay.
And it had the oil slicks where the tail lamps would fall down in the back, and it would spew out that, and it would spew out the smoke from underneath the car.
I don't know. This is just a side note. I think James Bond cars are they introduced the whole gadgetry to the cars.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of newer features and stuff that you would see in there. But what I'm saying is that I found out that during that time when they filmed that movie, Aston Martin was about to go bankrupt. Their cars were not selling. They were very unpopular.
So they brought it back.
James Bond used it in the movie, and then once everybody saw that car in the movie, yeah, Aston Martin, and now they've been alive since then. So pretty cool. But this vehicle, not related to James Bond, but just its history involved there a little bit. Very cool. I love the red paint scheme. Very awesome.
The rims, I would change out the rims.
Well, I wouldn't because they're Aston Martin. You know how much money.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I agree. They should be.
Yeah, they should be different though. But like I said though, it's.
You know what?
Get based on the taste, I guess.
This is my own personal taste too. I'm not a big fan of the wing and stuff in the back, but I actually like it on this vehicle.
They're pretty good.
It actually, the back of it follows a lot like what the early 1970 fastback Mustangs used to do. There's no trunk lid. It's just all from the end of the vehicle to about midway top. It's just one nice elongated piece of sheet metal or glass. Very cool stuff. I love those rear lights in the back. Very cool.
Is there another picture of the back, or is that the only one that you have?
I think there's the only one. Here's a side view. Pretty cool stuff though. It really looks awesome.
Hey, you know what that reminds me of? At the side view, it reminds me of the GTR, the new one.
Oh, that's what it looks like?
Yeah, if you look at it really carefully, it reminds me of that.
Very slopey lines, though. I'm loving that style. It's really cool.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't like the front grille, though, because I'm used to the V12 Vanquish.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one's a staple of nowadays. Yeah. But this one's pretty cool. And you, Aston Martin coming out, so that's awesome.
It's not bad.
Also, in Aston Martin news, Aston Martin is making 77 special vehicles. I forgot what exactly it is, but there's 77, and they will be one of the most expensive collector's items from Aston Martin. I mean, that is a good-looking Aston Martin. Very good.
Okay, I have to admit, that one actually is pretty good.
Yeah, you can tell how sported out it is. But the problem is that this last one, they're having problems selling it. I guess no one has the money to buy it.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I think as in the equivalent. I don't know what the conversion is, but in pounds, the English money.
I think their money is.
Yeah, right now their money is worth more than ours, but in the United States dollar, that is. But it's about $1,150,000 for this vehicle.
That's almost as much as a freaking Bugatti.
Yeah, I know. Then wasn't there a while ago that the Peterson Museum, there was a Bugatti that was like $2.4 million?
$2.6 million.
Yeah, it was 4 or 6. I don't remember 6. I think it was 4.
Something like that. It was up there.
Yeah. This is one of those special ones, though. Really good looking Aston Martin. Very cool. V12, obviously.
Gotta sport the V12 on the freaking Aston.
Very nice dash and stuff, though. Very cool.
I like the analog more than the digital. I'm sorry to admit that.
I haven't had a vehicle that's personally had it, so I can't complain.
Oh, I've seen the digital speedometers, and I don't like it.
I've seen them in the Cadillacs, and they look pretty nice. It depends, because some of them look very cartoonish. They're not refined. They're just like, they kind of look like what's on your computer screen.
Yeah.
And then there's some that they take the time, and they almost can fool you. They almost look like they are an old analog display. Also, from one of the auto shows, from the Chicago Auto Show that happened a little while ago.
That's a nice Ram.
Yeah, the Dodge Ram is getting a little bit of a facelift. It's getting a little bit bolder. And in this picture of the Ram, I'm guessing it's competing more with the Silverado than it is with the Ford now, because they're adding the fog lamps underneath the chunky cheeks, sort of like what the new Chevy Silverado is doing right now. And this is actually the HD version of and this is pretty cool. See that in the tail bed? It's cargo doors that open up.
Oh,
so nice. That's pretty cool. So now they're utilizing the extra little area in the back of the bed. There's always that little area between the wheel wells and the outside of the body where it's kind of just useless. So at least they're going to put some cargo room in there to for extra cargo carrying capability. So it's pretty cool.
Wait, you're talking about like the little compartments, like they did with the Outdoorsman?
Yeah, this is a derivative of the Outdoorsman.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. Also, it's getting this sporty looking little, I won't call it a wing, but it's more of a spoiler in the back.
Okay, I just got one question. Does it fit an ATV?
Well, it's a big full-size truck, so I'm pretty sure it does. Nice rims, stock rims on the vehicle. It's the limited. There's only going to be a special number of them too, but it debuted.
A certain amount.
Yeah, and these will be more or less collector items.
Automatic.
Yeah, very cool. And this is one of the few trucks that are full size nowadays. I've seen the automatic in the center stack. It's no longer up over the steering wheel like most trucks are nowadays. So at least they're going back to that. But this is the more luxurious version of the vehicle. I know Ford does have a center stack inside of their... I'm not exactly sure which Ford F-150 it is, but it's one of the more expensive ones, like with all the options in it.
Probably the HD versions.
No. I'm talking about the F-150.
Oh.
They have the center stacks, and they don't have the column shifters. That's what I was looking for. They don't have the column shifters anymore. So pretty cool on that stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind getting a truck like that. No.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking if I get another truck, I've been looking at the Ram, but I need to test drive them, obviously. So.
Yeah, because they could be completely different than.
Yeah, well, I mean, I test drove that Camaro a few weeks ago. Pretty cool car.
Grr.
But I think I am going to test drive one of these Rams pretty soon. They're coming out with some new features and stuff, and I heard in the distant future they're going to use the all digital display also, like the Dodge STR is going to use.
Everything is going digital, man.
It's the wave of the future, man. We'll be right back. This is Speed on the B3 Radio Network. Welcome back to Speed on the B3 Radio Network. Don't forget you can call us at any time at 626-532-7154 or email us at speedradio b3@yahoo.com or follow us on the web at b3radionetwork.webs.com. And I do have sad news, more recalls from more car companies.
Another.
Yeah, and this one is regarding Nissan, Ford again. Ford just does not have a good beginning of 2010 this year, and also another brand of Ford, which is Lincoln. Not good. So here's the problem with one of the new Nissans, the Versa, the 2012 model. The problem is that certain models equipped with the automatic transmission can be shifted out of park when you step on the pedal. So as you're braking, coming to a stop, and you push that, you can shift it out of park or into park or whatnot. And if you do this, obviously you'll grind the gears and create very major problems that, if it was not for this recall notice, would void your warranty pretty bad if you had a brand new vehicle.
Wait. So hold on. If you were driving and as you were stopping, it would go in the park?
No, you would have the ability to. Most cars have a lockout feature, which means if you push the brakes and you're slowing down, you can't put it into park or change gears. Or you can change gears, but you can't put it into park unless you're at a complete stop for most vehicles. But this one, it would allow you to easily just shift out of it or into it. And so far there is increased risk of crash or injury and the possibility of the driver shifting gears without applying the brake. So you don't even have to apply the brake. You can actually just shift the gear if you're accelerating. So not good. It's just pretty much a loose shifter.
You know what's sad? I know somebody who barely bought the Versa too.
This can be caused by an interference between the shift rod and the shift knob. And so Nissan will fix the problem, first of all, by notifying people beginning February 20th of this year, 2012. And the inspection, it will consist of an inspection. What?
By the end of the week?
Yes, by the end of the week. An inspection will ensue by looking at the shifter knob and assembly. If Nissan finds the parts that are affected by the recall, it will replace them free of charge, which it should do. Not good.
No, wasn't it? Didn't you tell me? Didn't you say last time there was another company that had you pay for it or something like that?
No, none of them were paying, but they were doing that dumb thing that I wasn't agreeing with the company, especially Ford was telling you, hey, don't use the car until we get around to getting the parts that you need. No one's going to do that. So, but not in this case. But there are the number of cars affected by this is 36,608 automatic transmission Versa models manufactured from June 9th, 2011 through January 13th, 2011.
Dude. I seriously know somebody.
Actually, that's probably a typo. It says January. It's backwards. So I'm assuming that means January 13th, 2012 of this year.
Oh.
That wouldn't make sense to put it from June to January of the same year. So I'm assuming that's a typo. The next model on the recall roundup is for the 2012 Ford Expedition, and the same thing, which is the Lincoln Navigator, which is the sub-brand of Ford.
A good way to start the year.
Yeah, especially for Lincoln, because Lincoln is Ford's luxury brand. as GM's is with Cadillac and Toyota has Lexus. So Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator, the problem is that the head restraint equipment on the right-hand side assembly may not provide the amount of support in a crash. So, you have the headrest behind you on the seat. Well, if you have a crash, it might become loose, and then your head will... if you have a front crash or a rear crash, how your neck does the whiplash thing. Yeah. Well, if you don't have the reason the headrest is there is not only for looks, but have you ever noticed like on the old Cadillacs from the 70s, it was like a bench seat. There wasn't any headrest on some of the older cars.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a reason. It's a law now that you have to have something that has adequate support for your head, because if you have a crash, you can snap your neck.
Oh wow.
In that, if it's a very heavy crash or push. So the head restraints, it's actually on the welds. They can break off the brackets, so that whole thing can just come off. So if you're in a crash,
the headrest and the entire headrest could just break off.
Yeah, or it just once apart, it'll bend in the crash with your head slapping it or something when in the crash. So Ford will replace the head restraints if necessary at no cost to the owner, and will begin notifying owners on February 20th as well.
Wait, this is for the
Ford Expedition and the Lincoln Navigator.
For both of them.
Well, because they're the same. They're the same body.
Oh,
like most car companies, they share the same platforms across brands.
That's a really bad way to start the year.
Yeah, I think the Nissan one's worse though. You can shift any gear. But this does affect the only 569 Expedition and Lincoln models, so not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that,
and those were the Lincoln models and Ford models manufactured between November 19th, 2011 and December 2nd of 2011.
Well, that's a small range actually.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, you can always call Ford at 1-866-436-7332. And that's, again, if you have a Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator for the 2012 model year.
What the heck happened here?
I'll get to that in a little bit. I wanted to get to this story before we go on. It looks like Chrysler's Dodge makes the Challenger right now. That was one of their that's their muscle car. It seems like all the big three American cars, Chevrolet has the Camaro, and the Dodge, which is Chrysler, has their Challenger, and Ford has the Mustang. Well, I'm not exactly too sure. I couldn't find it from the story why the Challenger. It might be discontinued soon. I think of low sales.
That's the new the two-door one, right? The one that's driving around.
Yeah.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, it is. Very big, very spacious. I want to test drive it before it goes out, but I have a feeling it's going to get replaced because of low sales, and they're going to bring back hopefully the Barracuda.
Well, but then again, I've only seen like Ford Challengers around ELAC, but they're the same exact one. So I guess I guess that explains a lot.
Well, the Challenger's two competitors, the Ford Mustang and the Chevrolet Camaro, they both had major... Barracuda was a huge name back in the late 60s, early 70s for muscle cars. Very huge name for Dodge.
I've never heard of it.
Well, you're not an American car guy.
Yeah.
If you're in American cars, this name means something. Okay. It's a huge nameplate.
Yeah.
And right now, the Dodge Challenger is using the Charger and the 300. Those two latest generations body frames and the platform. But that means for this category, the Challenger is a huge vehicle, and it's competing with the Mustang and the Camaro, which are very small body vehicles. The Mustang especially, and actually in 2015, the Camaro is going to get smaller.
What?
It'll be using the Zeta platform, which is what the Cadillac ATS right now is using.
It's going to get smaller.
About 1.5 inches smaller to 2 inches in width, and I think it's 1 inch shorter from front to length, which is better, I think, for a sports car. If you're fat, you shouldn't be getting in a sports car. I've seen that where 400-pound people are in sports cars and they lean to one side. Not a good look.
Hey, but
bad for the shocks.
I'm not a fat, but I'm a big guy.
Hey, well, I had to look at you. You're over there. I wasn't talking to you though.
Yeah, I know, but you know how I'm a big guy and I need a big the Camaro, the one that's out now.
But I never pictured you a Camaro fan either.
Well, yeah, true, yeah, but
it's not in your category.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting that, but if they're gonna make that smaller, I might as well just stay away from it.
Yeah, but
even though I kind of want one.
Well, yeah. But I picture you more getting your fancy
Nissan.
Yeah, your Nissan Skyline. But anyway,
how's that fancy? The 34.
That thing costs us like $90,000.
No, not the new one. The old one.
That's still gonna cost a ton.
Yeah, I know.
I'd rather just get a cheap Camaro and drive, as long as it's a V8. 426 horsepower. Oh, okay. Anyway, back to the story. So I guess I'll read on more. Hopefully there'll be more news next week. But yeah, it seems like the Challenger might get killed
for the Barracuda.
For the Barracuda, yes.
And this is the original. Right?
This is the original Barracuda. So, and they're one of the designers and engineers of the rumored new Barracuda that will be coming out. It's going to be a redo. You know how the Mustang, they look like the older models. It's a refresh, the retro look.
Yes, I was going to say I would like to see this modernized.
Yeah, on the website you can always check it out at b3radionetwork.webs.com. There's a nice green. I'm not a big fan of green, but it's a very nice looking I think this is a early 70s, late 60s model of the Barracuda. I'm not exactly sure which generation though. I think it's a 71. But
then again, a lot of muscle cars could pull off any color.
Oh, it's right there on the license plate, I think. It's a 1971 Barracuda. It's a very, very cool, very good-looking vehicle. I like the name, though, Barracuda. Also, on a completely different note, going in from American car company to
import,
Toyota not having a good week, I think. For one reason is that they can burn up.
Wait, what do you mean burn up?
The RAV4, the window switches inside of the door panel, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, which is the American transit authority that looks at all the regulations, because when you build a car, you have to have it meet certain quotas and standards and stuff. Well, they're investigating a potential fire hazard in most of the vehicles, mainly the RAV4, but the problem with this is that with Toyota, they use a lot of the same interchangeable parts in multiple vehicles.
They do. They really do.
Yeah. Well, this has been found on the RAV4, and the RAV4 is one of those vehicles that switches out through the Camry and the Corolla, and I know those are the other two. I'm not exactly sure what other models, but apparently all I have to say is, what's that smell? Because first of all, you'll smell burning plastic or a burning... if those of you have ever smelled a burning microchip, it has this weird...
No, I got you.
It's a very distinctive smell. Like
you'll smell that inside the car?
Yeah, because they've had at least 6 complaints from customers driving either 07 models from RAV4s or Camrys, and all six of the related incidents, reports have said that there's either fires or flames coming out of the door. Apparently, the switches where they're located is inside of the driver door. For whatever reason, Toyota just finds it easier to put all the relay switches for all the windows in the driver's side door. And that's where it's making all the smells and...
so it just overheats and combusts?
That's what it seems like right now. They're going to investigate further and see if that's what actually the problem is. There's only 6 reports right now, but...
Wait, how many relays?
Well, I mean, if there's 4 doors, there's going to be 4 relays. I'm not sure if it's all 4 getting heated or one's causing the other 3 to get heated and then the one burst in the flame or not. Or it could just be faulty wiring.
No, it's probably one of them catching all the other ones gone.
Yeah. But the flame and smoke...
Terrible.
But this... one of the things I was reading in here is that it only happens when the electricity is flowing, so it might just be a cross polarity inside of the electrical unit or something, because as soon as you turn off the vehicle, according to the report, then it stops. The smell goes away and everything. So there might be a crossed wire, or maybe the harness, there was improper connections of the wire, maybe where the positive is supposed to go is where a negative, or maybe no power is supposed to go.
I'll let you know about that, because I'm actually studying up on that right now too.
Yeah.
Electricity.
Cool. But as of right now, so the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration in the United States is investigating the RAV4 and the Camry for potential fire hazard.
That's why Toyota has to freaking spread out. I love Toyota and all, but their interchangeable parts kind of backfires on them.
That's what happened with the old General Motors as well. I mean, when they had a whole bunch of brands, they used to have Pontiac, Hummer, Saab, Saturn, all those got killed off. Saab got sold, and I think right now they're independent. They're not part of General Motors anymore. But one of the other problems is that they're in the bankruptcy. Saab is going to go out of business because no one wants to buy them either. So we're probably going to see the last of Saab within the next couple of years. No one's going to buy that company. Saab used to have a nameplate, and now it's just a useless company, I hate to say. And I know there are Saab fans. Like, there are people that just love Saab and everything they've done, but they can't find anybody to buy them, so they're going to go out of business probably this year or maybe next year.
Well, if you're a hardcore Saab fan, you might as well just save up a couple $1 million and buy it.
Well, Saabs aren't that expensive.
No, I'm talking about the whole company.
Oh, the company, yeah. Well, that's a cheap company if you only can buy it for like $1 million or $2 million. But then again, it is in bankruptcy. Why would you want to buy that?
Yeah, that's true. But still, though, interchangeable parts for cars is not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, but it's the most cost effective. So
it's
never going to stop. As long as the parts are made cool. I mean, that was the big thing with, Nissan does that with Infiniti.
Yeah.
Toyota does it with Lexus, especially. General Motors, Chevy and GMC, that's like the big ones that go cross-platform, and Buick and Cadillac right now. And Chevy just shares everything with the whole company, especially since they're making all the sales. And Chevrolet is the biggest one out of all the other three inside General Motors. They're the ones that make the most money, and they have the most cars. I mean, that company probably has like a good 20 different models of all their cars right now.
Wow.
There's just a ton of cars available from them.
And most of their parts are interchangeable too?
Most of them, yeah.
Wow.
Especially with the trucks, the big full-size trucks.
Oh,
the Chevys and the GMCs, the only things that probably differ are just the badges and the front facades.
Well, I guess. If it's cost efficient, might as well.
Yep. Well, this is Speed on the B3 Radio Network. Don't forget, you can always check online at b3radionetwork.webs.com for all the furthest, latest info and all the pictures that we show here on the show. I am Brian Bombarios, and behind the boards, Boontar and MacGyver Horn. This is Speed.